Hey guys, welcome back to SRE Customs, and we're just going to go over some more about porting and port timing, and specifically reed porting. Oh, that don't work, does it, guys? Maybe that'll help a little down there. Yeah, there we go. A little more light on things, but what I would like to go over with you guys is the benefit that you get from a reed is you're allowed to have unlimited intake timing and not lose bottom end performance. Okay, if you go past, say, 160, 165 duration on your intake on your small bore engines or really big bore engines, you're going to dramatically lose torque. Okay, so, and that's when you take the floor down here, the floor of the port. When you remove the floor of the port, you definitely you raise RPM potential, but you also dramatically lose bottom end. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you can see the general opening shape here. But then when you look in where the cylinder is, you can also add an additional transfer port right there above the intake port, commonly called a boost port or a fifth port or whatever, loop scavenging port. And you can also V out the floor, as you see there. Another thing that you can do is on the piston, on the intake side, you're allowed to do lots of different things. You can cut a square out like so. You can cut the skirt up like that. You can cut an opening window, one large window. If you did a 6-port where you cut 2 small transfer ports above the intake, you can do 2 windows here. You also, on a piston mod, you want to raise this area here and also bevel it so it faces when the air and fuel comes out of the bottom. When the piston goes down, the air and fuel comes out of this and goes up the transfers. All right, so you want this angle facing up towards the transfers. Now, this is kind of a debatable thing. Does it make horsepower? Does it not? I don't really know. But I know one thing it does is lighten the piston, and that certainly increases RPM potential. So remember, on a piston port engine, if you add more than about 165, if you go past that, especially on a small bore, you're going to dramatically lose bottom end, guys. Okay? And remember, on the exhaust, if you open the exhaust port earlier than 100 degrees after top dead center, you're going to lose torque. So your car has to be a package. The pipe, the gearing, the tire, all that has to match the porting that you're doing. Okay? That's why when you guys buy these kits that are from all these major engine builders, they're just generally better. But if you hire an engine builder like myself or other people, and I'm not after your work, I'm just saying, if you did for a specific build, we can make tremendous power in the RPM range that you want. So, and that's what I want you guys to know. Port timing. Also, big ports, volume, is not everything. Velocity is also super important. And remember, the closer you can get your carburetor on a piston port engine, the closer you can get the carburetor to the cylinder, the better off you are, because we don't have room to move the carburetor out to get the right resonance and all that. So move your carburetor as close as you can, without, and while using some kind of gasket that isolates heat from soaking the carburetor. But definitely the closer the better. It gives a better signal to the carburetor. And remember, guys, these pipes that you're buying, you can modify them to run with your engine, which I'm gonna do something on a video on it coming up here shortly. But make sure, port timing wise, you hover around those numbers, between 175 duration on the exhaust, that means the time it's open, and no more than 165 on the intake on a piston port. Remember, if you bolt a reed on, even not a reed case, you don't need to spend all that money on a reed case. I can make okay, for instance, I'll show you something, guys. Here's my, oh, if I can get it right here. Here's my Scopod that I build. It's a drag mod Scopod, and it has a bolt-on cylinder reed, if you guys can see that, with a WJ71, and I sell these and for some local guys around here, and they've been very successful. And I don't know of anyone, but remember, cylinder reed is great, way better than piston port. It's more efficient, it broadens the torque curve, and you're allowed to have unlimited intake timing. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks a lot. This is SRE Customs, and we're out.